them walking around bucket naked.
You can tell by her texts, yeah, she getting messy. She playing on Kelly. It seems like she ready now. On my way now.
Bucket naked in the new.
Yes.
This motherfucker. It's Saturday night. I done spent all my check already on all the bills. I can't go no goddamn where. I'm gonna sit at home. It's too expensive to drive to a damn bar or club. The gas tank, you gonna spend all your money in the gas tank before you pull up to the goddamn bar.
Right.
You hear me?
Mr. Bend Over. We got Kiki and Lise from Queensland Attitude. Mr. Bend Over from Deep Throat Conversations. I'm Black D from AAA Podcast. And this is a AAA Productions, and this is Bucket Naked Podcast. You bitches. You. How y'all doing tonight? How y'all doing tonight?
Bro, you know, just chilling, bro. Oh, you hear me? Let's see. Kiki looking like sexual chocolate right now.
Over there looking like a Reese cup.
Bucket naked.
Man, she got the baby hairs going on and shit. You hear me?
Yeah, them motherfuckers is laid down right too, Kiki. I see you.
Okay.
Shout out to Roll Candy. Shout out to Roll Candy.
Roll Candy, y'all hit me up. Send my trucks. Get at me. Get this money.
Monday. Yo, so Kiki, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. We was on earlier. You seen it probably, but
hey, Black B.
What's up?
My bad, I mean to cut you off. I saw all the comments. There was comments. I went to my shit and showed all the comments, but it wasn't showing up in the what's name. But Kiki said she learned something. She said she learned something.
I learned something.
Man, that was some deep conversations, bro.
It was. I like to never from both perspectives.
Yeah. I learned something. Yeah. Motherfuckers don't know how to communicate.
At all.
That's it.
Yeah. Communication is a key. It'll save you a lot of headaches, a lot of problems. Or to let you know who the fuck you dealing with and be like, you know what?
Yeah,
I can't. You ever mess with a dude, Kiki? And he just you ever mess with a dude and like you just couldn't be able to see what's fine or whatever the case, but you just couldn't be on the same page because the nigga just couldn't express himself.
Yeah, I've been there and done that. Yeah. That's the one thing. If you can't mind fuck me, you might as well just say fuck it. Or you could just serve your purpose.
You hear me?
So you said you know it's no go, but if the dick is good, then he can hang around a lot longer.
Well, you know, behind closed doors, we do our thing, you know.
You can't be seen out in public with him.
Probably fist bump when I see you in public. But...
No, because you done fucked the nigga off a fist bump, so we not even trying to. He can't even fist bump.
Hey, check this out. Hey, since we okay, we had two views. Hey, whoever come on, hey, if you wanted to come on here, hey, holla at me a Black Beat. We come on right now, talk your shit. You know what I mean, huh? Hey, saw that I did, right? You know how black folks do, right? Listen, bro. When you got something stuck in your tooth, when you can't get to the toothpick, you know, black folks pick up all types of dumb shit. Like I got a motherfucking I got my business card and shit.
By any means necessary.
You hear me?
You hear me, Mr. Bendo?
You gotta get it out of there because if you leave it in there, it stinks.
Well, I think last week I had pulled out a piece of hair from that bitch. I didn't know where that shit came from.
You know where it came from, motherfucker. You know when you put your mouth
that must have been a dirty ass restaurant I had, so I ain't never going back there again. Shit,
oh no, bro. You was in there eating them home cooking goodies.
You was over there putting your mouth where they pee, nigga.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star. You hear me? Huh?
Hey, she called you a twat. She called you a twat muncher.
Listen,
Mr. Poo Poo.
No, don't start that shit.
Don't start that shit. It's gotta be hairy too. If it ain't hairy, it's gotta be hairy. I like.
Oh, you prefer unshaved? You like it?
Man,
you like natural?
Man, listen, women so caught up with what they doing now. I want all the nappy dugouts. I want all the knapsacks, the potato sacks all around and shit. I want all that shit. You know
Potato.
what I'm saying? You know the one when it be so curled up when you pull it, it be like this long, it be super long and shit. You like, damn,
Hey,
that shit
pubic
long.
hairs get long.
Then a motherfucker, you hear me?
Kiki put cornrows on her shit.
I ain't like, I was gonna
Damn.
put some beads in that motherfucker. Say go to Apple.
Damn.
She need giraffes.
She said she put some beads in that motherfucker. She put some barrettes down there.
Goddamn right. Put a bow on that motherfucker.
God, damn. Well, let me tell y'all a story, man. Listen, I was at what's down South grocery store. So anyway, I'm at a grocery store, right? And so, you know, I don't want to call him a crackhead. Whatever he was hustling. You know what I'm saying? He said, "Hey, big bro, I got something for you, big bro. Come here. You got a big neck, and I got a big gold chain for it, big bro." I said, "Okay." I said, "Let me see that shit." So I took it. I'm like, "Well, shit, is it real?" You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real." I said, "Okay, well, I'm about to put this shit to the test." You hear me, huh? And so here around talking to somebody and shit. While I put the motherfucking crack lighter to that bitch, but that bitch went to smoking it like that bitch went to smoking like barbecue. You hear me? That motherfucker turned around. God damn, what you doing, big bro? I'ma sell it now. Listen, I burnt this, bro. I burnt that motherfucker up, bro. You saw all the silver underneath that motherfucker, bro. That nigga tried. He tried the hell out of me. I was just trying to save him. He tried. I'm trying to save him from getting killed. You know what I'm saying? Keep playing them games, nigga, kill you down, especially. Down
I got once. I won't even lie. I got once for a chain.
For real?
Yeah, it was like I was like 21, so I'm gonna take that as a lesson lost. It was in like Columbus. I was coming out the barbershop, and I'd always seen dudes selling like movies and other stuff. And he was like, "Look, bro, I got this, bro. It's real. Trust me. You see me all the time. Michael said you're nothing fake. You see me all the time." I'm like, "Yeah, I seen you around here all the time at this barbershop." He's like, "I got you. So he was like, "Wow, here you go." I'm like, "Shit, fuck it, all right." So I'm sitting there, it's nice and heavy, bro. Man, that shit was gold for like a week.
God damn, bro. You supposed to put it back in the bag or something. Because I remember back in the day, I used to get these gold chains from the pawn shop. It's big motherfuckers too. But as long as you take them all and you put them in a plastic bag, them bitches will last so long. But you know how much pussy I got them fake gold chains? You hear me, huh? What you say? Listen, I should come in that bitch. Do your chain hang low? Does it wobble to the floor? Does it shine like a light? Does it really let it go? Do your chain hang low? That motherfucker is shining.
And they be having some sweet little fake ones at the corner store, man.
But listen, but females so dumb, they should have known it was fake. That shit sound like aluminum. Every time I would move that shit, it would sound like aluminum. That shit would sound like aluminum. Man, I fucked so many bitches out that shit, bro. Until one time a girl found out I left it in her car. I guess she tried to pawn it. I left it in the car, and she found out that shit was fake. And she wanted a whole refund of 2 months of fucking. I said, I can't even do it, bitch.
How you get the put? I mean, I don't get it. How you get the dick back or the pussy back?
Oh no, she wasn't.
The walls is tatted.
That's too late. That shit too late, bitch.
No refunds, Kiki. No refunds.
No refunds. Shit, it is what it is. Even all the regrets, I gotta deal with it.
Hey Kiki, you ever had some dick where you want your pussy back?
Yeah, a couple times.
I mean, what happened? Share your experience. Talk to Pastor Bendover. Come on, talk to me.
No, I can't even say it because this dude, his shit was so little. Like he was like his dick ain't even go in. Like it was like he was fucking my thighs. I'm like,
wait up. For everybody watching, Kiki a big motherfucker. Now, that motherfucker 6'1", you hear me?
I'm 6 foot even.
Oh damn. Okay. Well, high heels and
He
shoes.
put shoes on 6'1".
Listen,
so I'll be like 6'3".
That's what I'm saying. See, so what looks small to Kiki may be big to an average woman. You know what I'm saying? So
a dick is a dick, nigga.
A dick is a dick.
You out here fucking guy, something wrong.
Nah, cause Kiki, let me tell you something. Let me tell you the secret to all chicken nuggets out here. I'm gonna let you tell your story. All chicken nuggets. if you got a small dick, bro, look for a bitch who got small hand because a small dick always looks bigger in a small hand. It's all about illusions.
Yeah,
It's all about illusions.
If I grab you with one of these, boys,
Yeah, you ain't right, Kiki. You probably got big hands, so you making every nigga sit there feel away when he come in your presence.
I can palm a basketball, so you better. Hey, but if it don't go over, if I can't see it right here, I'm like,
Hey, you see how she holding that black and mild? Hey, Miguel, you see how she holding that black and mild? That's how she be holding, motherfucker.
For real.
Hey, she said she'll be like this. Well, damn.
Hey, that shit ain't even fair, man. Hey, no, shout out to all the chicken nuggets out there, man. Listen, better days to come. Hey, listen,
It ain't your fault.
if you got a chicken nugget, just get your bankroll right. At least they'll act like they like you. You hear me? Nah. So Kiki, you wouldn't put up with a millionaire with a chicken nugget?
I don't know. It depends on if he cashing out. Like if he's showing me a new life, I might go ahead and play. You know what I'm saying? If people like, I'm about to pick you up in a helicopter, I ain't never had that before. Let's do it.
Shit, I ain't never had my dick sucked from the back. I'm trying to feel what that be like.
I ain't never had that.
I ain't never had that.
I mean, you talk about new heights right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to fuck in a helicopter while I was moving.
I did a back of a movie theater. Of course, the park. Everybody who hasn't done the park. I think I've done almost every park in the Yo except for
me. I haven't done it in the park.
You haven't done it in the park? I did every park except for Wick Park.
Who gonna do it in Wick Park? You might as well just do it where everybody gonna see you, unless you're gonna go behind the pavilion.
When I was at Wick Park, I can't explain it, but it was like a little jungle gym they had down there. And and I had a girl. We was at her house. I had her put some peaches in her motherfucking koozie, right? And we went all the way to the park, and she got on the little jungle gym, and she was on that motherfucker. And I sucked that motherfucker right about that motherfucker. Hey, that bitch got caught. I almost choked on that bitch. You hear me? That shit was extra slimy. So it went down super fast. It was all up in here and shit. And Mr. Deep throw conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, damn.
You never had that done before, Kiki?
You ain't never had no peaches. You ain't never had no peaches sucked out of you, Kiki.
No, I ain't never had that.
I ain't never sucked no peaches out of no damn body either. I done messed around with some strawberries before. Then done the ice, put the ice down there.
I had a peppermint sucker down there.
Jolly Rancher before. I put a Jolly Rancher down there before.
Bro, I had a female suck my dick with toothpaste, bro. And it was feeling good till it was feeling good till it got in a hole. You hear me?
What was that? Oh, gingivitis dick.
Yeah. Oh, no, that's you. That's you from last week with the gingivitis push. Don't put that on me, Kiki.
God damn.
Hold on.
Was it Aqua Fresh? Well, I mean, what you have? Extra white?
I think it was. I think then it was a cheat. It was AIM or some shit.
Hey, Kiki, he done gave Kiki head and left tartar on her clit.
That shit was AIM. But listen, the same female that did that, right? She was so freaked out. She didn't really fuck with her family like that. And I never forget when I used to be over there, right? She's going to the refrigerator and grab fucking cucumbers. We'll be on the couch and she used to fuck herself with the cucumber, bro. Oh. And then put that bitch right back in where she got it from. Ain't rinse it off or nothing, bro. And then that bitch eating salads. You hear me? I'm like, wow.
What about vegan? What about vegan and they got a salad at their house? I don't want none of them cucumbers. That's not vegan cucumbers.
Listen, but that's why I don't eat at people's houses, bro.
Man, really?
I don't eat at people's houses. You don't know what motherfuckers be doing and shit, bro. I don't trust motherfuckers with food, bro. I don't like
That's disgusting.
That's nasty, bro. I'll never get that shit. I was like 16 and shit. She put that bit right back in the cooler like it was back at the bottom of the field like it wasn't nothing. I'm like, damn.
Yo, let me ask y'all, any of y'all ever had like a moment, like a real embarrassing moment in your childhood that you'll never forget. Like you just know, like, and it had to happen like not at home, but like at school or something like that.
I have.
I think the most embarrassing, I was like, it was in the 6th grade, and I had a cold, and I told my mom, like, hey, I'm sick as fuck. She said, are you taking your ass to school? And you know, my last name is Ally, so it's an A, so I had to sit in the front. Man, I sneezed, snot came out, and I farted, and the fart was loud as hell. It was against the wood. Man, I got up and just cried my way to the office, like, man, come get me. Fuck this.
Oh, she's farting the snot balls. What about you?
I was Mrs. Poo Poo.
Well, my most embarrassing moment was I never forget. My dad had this raggedy ass yellow station wagon, bro, and it was like 3 of us. It was 3 boys and 3 girls. You know, so we coming back from the movies, and we going to the Camel Projects. You know, in the Camel Project they got them steep ass hills you got to go up and shit. And I'll never forget, bro. Only thing I fucking remember, we was going up that hill. The only thing I remember after that, I was rolling down that motherfucker. I had my arm up against the door, and that fucking door opened up, and I pretty much from the top of the hill when I fell out the car, rolled all the way down to the bottom of that motherfucker, bro. And next thing you know, by the time they got me and shit, you know, they was all patching me up and shit like that. We know how they once you find out a motherfucker okay, that's when everybody start laughing at you after that. Yeah. And type of shit like that. Like, damn, nigga, you were rolling like a motherfucker. I was like, damn, yeah. I was like 14 when that shit happened, bro. Yep.
Yo, I'm gonna say it because I can own my shit. Freshman year, football. We doing 2-a-days, right? We just doing 2 days of football practice. So, you know, like they motherfuckers was hazing motherfuckers back there, like tearing their asses up. So all the seniors and big dogs talking shit like, yeah, we gonna get a freshman tonight. We gonna get a freshman tonight. So motherfuckers is in there in the locker room, like changing their equipment and everything. I mean, taking out their equipment, trying to dip out and stuff. So you remember how the red locker rooms look, right? Where you got them long corridors or whatever case. So next thing I know, I see big motherfuckers coming this way, So I'm boxed in. I'm like, fuck. So I try to jump on a little bench thing and try to climb on the top to get over that motherfucker. They grab me down and they grab me and they're like, you scream, we're beating your ass. I'm like, fuck. So they take me to the back locker room in the back where all the varsity guys kept their lockers and shit. So we go back there. They got me in the corner, and they're like, all the juniors and seniors, and they're like, yeah, fresh meat. So I'm sitting there scared out my motherfucking mind. So they like, yo, so they get the heat. I'm like, what the fuck? They come with a big ass fucking jar of icy hot.
Oh man, I had that done.
So they like, look. So they put it in front of me. I kid you, no lie. They put it in front of me like, listen, you got 2 choices. You put it on yourself, or we beat your ass and we putting it on. And I'm like, fuck. So like, I'll do it. I'm sitting there crying and shit. I'm like, I'll do it. So I go in there. My dumb ass don't get a little bit right. Fucking
sit on your balls.
Go. And they're like, yeah. I go walking. I get right to the part where you about to walk out of that locker room. And that icy hot kick. So I'm sitting there crying. Coach Harold come back there. He's like, what's wrong? And he can smell it. All you can smell is icy. I'm like, oh no, they got it with that heat. They got it with the heat. So I go in the shower. I'm in the shower, butt ass naked by myself with her crying, like trying to get icy hot off my balls. But yo, the worst part to that shit, right? This is the realest, but the worst part, but the realest thing that could have happened to me. I go home. I come in the house. And I used to live right across the Rand, like right across from Rand my freshman year, like right there. Our apartment's actually right across from Harding. So I come in the door, my mom can tell something wrong with me. She's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, they got me with the icy hot. She laughs. She laughs. She's like, you're not gonna quit. You're gonna take your ass to practice, and you're gonna practice even fucking harder because now you ain't got nothing to worry about. They can't fuck with you no more. And you bet not fucking quit, bro. I'm beating your ass. You go to practice and you practice hard now, and you don't have to fucking hold back and worry about nothing.
Well, she gangster.
She gangster. She was gangster. Yeah.
Gangster.
So I give her her props. But yeah, man, when mom's laughed, man, my heart was like, oh. She was
Bro, you know how bad that had to hurt. 'Cause first of all, I remember the first time when I first started shaving my pubic hairs. Right, I shaved my pubic hairs off. Well, I wouldn't shave it, but I used clippers, like the clippers to cut it off. And then I got in the shower and I said, you know what? Spray some cologne down that bitch, dog. Oh my Jesus, bro. So if cologne burn, I can only imagine what that icy hot did to your motherfucking ass.
Oh man, that icy hot on them balls was no joke, bro. No joke whatsoever.
But
So I got a question. Like, okay, like, did y'all ever use like razors and then like with the clippers, like when your hair growing back, do you get that prickly shit, like
yeah, you
itchy
do.
and
You do.
it
That's why
hurts?
you don't supposed to use razors because razors they cause razor bumps and all that shit. I use my I got a specific one. I got like trimmers that I use my shit.
Specific trimmers for shaving your shit.
That shit. Anytime you know a blade hit that skin, that shit gonna make it sensitive. It's gonna bump up. That shit come back. That shit be feeling like you can get a motherfucking splinter with that shit. That shit that's how rough that shit be down there.
Yeah, that's why I don't like shaving my coochie.
Yeah. That's why a lot of women they get them waxes because you know the more and more you shave that shit, the thicker that hair come back. It come back thicker and harder and shit.
Pull it out.
Kiki over there, and Kiki said she don't like to shave her shit like in the jungle, the mighty jungle.
I ain't even gonna hold you. I'll be 41 Friday, and let me tell you something. A little salt and pepper down there too, a little seasoned ass pussy.
Yeah, you gotta tell me. Listen, I told y'all. I told y'all about my story, my on the boat story and shit. I pulled. She was. I don't say how old she was, but that motherfucker, it was full of it. Like you know what I'm saying, like picking cotton. You hear me?
That's a wise ass pussy. That's why.
It was still gushy too. That shit was crazy. That was a hell of an experience. Like, sex is a hell of a drug. You hear me? But now, hey, you ain't finish your story though about the chicken nugget. What happened? What happened now?
No, I mean that was pretty much it. Like, dude, I mean,
but I got a question. Did you give him some though?
I mean, we really ain't fuck. You feel me? Because he was just like
he couldn't put it in.
I understand that, but my thing is this:
you can feel it like rub against like the coochie lips, but other than that, he was all fine. Like,
but my thing is this though. So did you see the penis before he put it in? So that's what I don't get. So that's no different from a man knowing a woman.
Well, let me just say, I was inebriated. Okay, so I probably wasn't using I had bear goggles. Probably looked bigger than what it felt.
You were like, okay, I can make this happen work.
Wow. All right, man. God, that's crazy there, bro.
You should have told him like to smack it on your clit or something like that and called it a day.
That's all you can do is scissor with me.
So you trying to say
he was already like, oh, you got a clit too.
Yeah, right. That's the only way a little dick gonna make it happen. Go on ahead and rub it on my clit. I come.
She said, hey, she grabbed his legs, split his legs up like this, and split his legs up like this and was scissoring them.
Right. There you go.
Wow.
I'm gonna fuck the shit out that. He got a big clit.
I couldn't get in though the link.
Oh, who tried to get in through the link?
That's my sister.
That's your sister?
Yeah.
The link wouldn't let her? Send it again. Tell her to try it again.
Hey, send it back to me.
All right. But Kiki.
Make sure it's the right one because y'all sent me 2 of them and I clicked on
No, it was one of them. The one was from last night, so they just looked right there by each other.
Oh, okay.
Kiki Wood.
What's the okay, Miguel, this for you. You ever be like messing with a chick and like the first time you about to smash, but the chemistry is so whack that like you can't even get into it?
Ooh.
like she down to fuck, but you like, man, I'm just not feeling like you just like there's no chemistry there. Like when you sober, it's one thing if you drunk because you can kind of convince yourself to go through with it, but like where you like, yo, like I don't know, I'd have been in that situation before where it's like trying to smash and it's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
She not even she won't even be ugly, but it like my dick like nah, dude, we just not feeling her. Like,
I never really, you know what I'm saying. I never really experienced that, you know what I'm saying, because for the simple fact, like now I have had some you know, I just smash and dance type shit, so it was never really no. But I never really took the time to get the chemistry because I really wasn't trying to get to know her, so it was just smash and dance. Because you know, mostly every time when I do something, it gets nasty. It get nasty. It's nasty time. You know what I'm saying? So I be trying not to get like that, but
It's just
it's like it's just what Atomic Dog. You hear me? So it's just like that, bro. I hate to say it. I'm not saying I'm just around here out here just you know eating everybody's coochie and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But nowadays it's like sucking dick and eating pussy is like a part of sex. So you know what I'm saying?
if we was in school,
back in the day, we were scared to suck dick.
we were scared to say you ate some pussy.
But you know it's crazy because listen, bro, I ain't gonna capture you, but I've been eating pussy since I've been like 14.
Oh,
That's bad.
Oh, you did
crazy.
say that.
oh, experience. You got
You know what I'm
experience now.
And so what happened was it kind of messed me up too, like because like when you keep doing something a certain way, your body gets adjusted to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so a lot of times, like I can like a woman can come here right now and be butt ass naked. If I'm not in tune with her like that, it's not even a turn on for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not in tune with her, and it's just because I've been doing it so much. It was like, but now if I want to get myself like, you know what I'm saying, then I might have to, you know, taste the rainbow or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird. It's just weird with certain things. That's why a lot of times I just don't. I'll be kind of on chill mode. You know what I'm saying? Because I know where I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's my sister right there. I know where I'm gonna take it. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, what's going on? That's my sister, yo.
What's up, sis?
I told her it was kind of X-rated. I didn't know she wanted to hop in here. You hear me? But
I'm not gonna stay long. You know, I'm old.
Okay.
Wait, didn't you call him older than you?
He is older than me, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey, but since we got her on here, bro, I'm gonna trip you out. This is my sister. I haven't physically met her yet, but she's 37 years old. She just seen our pops for the first time, like a couple weeks ago. So it's a long story behind that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm coming up in April. That's why I'm coming April 6th. She's going to see my pops. I'm gonna get to see her for the first time.
Amazing. I seen that on your page.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yep.
Yeah, so I was gonna do a podcast with her. I would talk to somebody. It's a lot of other behind the scenes stuff, but I couldn't really do it this week. But yeah, she's gonna talk about her story, her journey, how she found our father. So that's
amazing. That's dope.
I know this isn't a part of the X-rated part of whatever y'all was talking about, but you know, my bad.
No. We talk about everything.
Talk about anything from dicks to politics.
Anything. Yeah.
She said dicks to politics. Why?
I need to really check out the company I hang with. I got to do better.
They say you hang around. You hear me? Yeah, that's why we all get along so well. Ain't that some shit? Some free.
So you listen. When you first talked to him, did you? He was gonna be this crazy? You got a brother this damn crazy?
So when I first talked to him, my exact sentiments was, "Wow, we are just alike."
Wow.
We are exactly alike. The only difference is he's just older. That's all.
Damn, she keep throwing that older out there on you all the time.
I mean,
bro.
because he is.
Hey, check this out. And this the funny shit, right? It's the funny shit, right? When we first had talk, we was both thinking the same thing. I was like, you know what? If I find out she's older than me, it's gonna be some motherfucking problem. And so when she found out, she was like, damn, I found out you was older than me. Shit. You know what I'm saying? That's
listen, I could just imagine how that feel. Like, I know how I was a little kid when I thought when my dad just pulled one out of nowhere on me. I was like, I don't know, like I thought I knew I was the only child for the longest. Then my sister came along, and I was like, fuck. And then next thing I know, my other brother comes around, and this fool was older than my little sister. I'm like, where this nigga come from? Like, who is that? It's like, oh. Like, man, and they was like months apart. So my dad was driving back to Youngstown, smashing on two of them at the same time going back to the yard. I was like, oh. I just looked at my brother and sister and said, hey.
They say Papa was a rolling stone. His hat was his
That's crazy because I wish that me and my younger brother was tight. My dad, me and my dad wasn't in our life all like that, but he had another child in another marriage, and at least I got to meet him. Like I got to meet him, but we're not close. You know what I mean? And it's so crazy because I'm like, I got a little sibling. All the times I've been tortured from my older brother, I wanted to torture a little one. You know what I mean?
Damn.
You should make that happen, though. You should make that happen. Figure out how to make it happen. Like, that's important.
Yeah, because I got a little nephew too.
You see, that's important. Like, I mean, think about it. Like me, I got a whole entire family that I haven't known for 37 years. So just to come around them and everything is so natural. It's like, wow, like time waits for nobody. And, you know, some things you just make it happen if you can. Sure.
Yeah. I love I got 13 siblings.
Shit. Who was
he was a Rolling Stone?
It's crazy.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. And probably more because my dad served in the Navy, so he was in the Philippines, and he be telling all the stories about all he done. He's like, yeah, you probably got some siblings over in the Philippines.
Yeah, you might want to get known because you a little nasty.
Me?
Yeah.
I retired from my nasty phase. Like once I hit 40, I was like, let me go ahead and hang this nasty jacket up and just and try to be like a nice suburban, like house man.
That's why you stuttering, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do the right. In the words of Spike Lee, I just want to do the right thing. You know, I'm just trying to be. You know,
hey, Black V, but is doing the right thing doing the right thing?
No, not really.
Because sometimes, listen, because sometimes you can't keep the hunger suppressed. You know what I'm saying? It's like stank feet. Them socks got to come off at some point in time. You know what I'm saying? You can't keep the hunger suppressed, bro. You know? Look at Kiki. She like, that's some real shit.
Because you already know my struggle right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm suppressed like a motherfucker.
Listen,
I'm like, I feel you, homie.
Listen, by the time Kiki gets some, she gonna be like, what's that movie? Don't Be a Menace when she had threw the nigga in the back of the mail truck. Your ass ain't going nowhere.
You got that right.
You ain't going nowhere.
Get over here.
I'll be in that motherfucker. Pick a hoe anyhow. I don't give a fuck. Just stick it.
Yeah, you can't keep that shit suppressed, man. I don't know. Hey, bro, you just gotta be you, bro. You gotta be you, bro. Let it all hang out. You know what I'm saying? You hear me?
Now I got a question. Not to take it back, but are you the only are these your only siblings that you're finding, or you have more that you grew up with?
As far as our dad's side of the family, these are my only siblings, but I mean I have siblings on my mom's side of the family.
Okay.
But I was always the black sheep because I was the affair child. So,
okay, got you.
Yeah, I have an older brother and 2 older sisters and 2 younger sisters on my mom's side. So I'm like right in the middle.
Okay.
And I think I'm right in the middle on damn, I am right in the middle again. Shit.
You done put her in the middle, Miguel.
Hey, them in the middle, them fair kids, like they come around and they get love till the funeral happens. They're like, I don't know why she here. I don't know. Hope she don't think she getting shit. That's how. Hey, black folks be doing you so dirty.
Right.
And I think that's so crazy because I got an aunt. My grandfather, my youngest aunt, is an affair child, and even my other aunts treated her kind of like real fucked up. So because she was younger, she grew up with us. We kind of embodied her, which I never understood that because it's not the child's fault.
It's not
Right.
the child's fault,
At the
but
child, you know what I mean?
if an adult like around that time frame, if they felt some type of way about something, they're gonna make the child feel fucked up regardless, because it makes them
Right.
feel better about themselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
I never tripped on my little brother. Some of y'all know him, especially living in the Yo. My brother, Isaiah Shelton, like he was the Fairchild, but my mother never, because my mother always told us, like, regardless of how she feels about what my stepdad did, it's not Isaiah's fault. He didn't ask to be here, and so she never treated she never treated Ike any different. It was like, yo, that's not his fault. Like, so we just raised. I think it just sucks when you do see other people do that, like especially adults. Like, because normally the kids kind of react to whatever the case, the way like how the parents handle it. And if you got some trifling ass adults who kind of take it out on the child, the kids kind of follow that and whatnot.
Yeah. Now I threw a jealous fit because my dad wasn't in my life, and it wasn't towards my blood brother, but he had my youngest brother, older brother from the mother, estranged mother. He was able to call my dad, and he got to grow up in the house with him and stuff like that. And it kind of threw me for a loop. So I was just like, he can't ride in the, when my dad died, I'm like, how he get to ride in here? That ain't his real, in my head, I'm like, but then I had to look at it, that wasn't fair. Like, I feel bad for even having those feelings, but then it's just like, I ain't get to have my dad. So like, how the hell you get to have him and it ain't even your blood? You know what I mean?
But guess what though? Like you say that right, but I still feel like you reserve that right to feel that way. But as you grow up and get older, you're mature now, so you change. But I feel
she
like
was mad at she was immature and mad at the wrong person.
But no, I understand that. But sometimes you have to release certain things from you to move on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? To say that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just how you fucking feel. You know what I'm saying? But hell yeah, why wouldn't that? Because there's certain stories that I had with my sister. A happy moment can go to a sad moment real quick. That's just like, she was explaining to me, she's up there, and my dad brought in 2 kids that had somebody, right? So she's hearing stories from 2 kids that's not even his. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like,
right.
I understand y'all got all these stories with my pops that's not your dad, and for whatever situation I'm in now that I wasn't here with my pops, that I couldn't experience those things. So you hear shit like that and you try to soak it in, but it's like that shit make you feel some type of motherfucking way. Like, damn, I didn't fucking have that shit for whatever reason behind it. So even as a grown up, that shit, I got fucking stories that still touch me to this motherfucking day, and I'm fucking 39.
Yeah, definitely.
You said you how old again? You what?
See that?
39.
Hold on. Hey, Black V, I'm about to kick her out. I think I'm the host. I'm about to kick her out.
Look, it's okay, because if you kick me out, I'm gonna fall right to sleep. It's all good. I'm not even mad.
It's just like I know that's like a hard thing, because being a woman and then missing that father figure, it plays a big dynamic in your life and how you deal with men.
Does. Like I was telling my brother the other day, I was like, man, it really would have been nice to have the dad to show you what the red flags were before you got in that relationship, or what the red flags are when you are in that relationship, instead of growing up with the mom who thinks that, oh, all niggas ain't shit. So when you hear that, it's like, well, damn, like, what's my setup to be like? Right. If I don't have that father figure to tell me, no, all niggas ain't shit. Some of them are actually some decent ass people, but
or for you to just, like, my thing that I missed was experiencing the love, because they say how a mother and a son is. a daughter and a father, he's supposed to be the first person, the first man that you ever fall in love with. You know what I mean? Where I never had a chance to fall in love or even have, just yeah. So it's like, girl, at least you know what, my father is gone, but at least, and it was just like my story is crazy because, girl, we're gonna have to have a show on this for real because I get to telling my story so somebody can.
But listen,
like,
Kiki,
I think that's what we were trying to do. Only because it is one of those stories that, I mean, it doesn't really, it doesn't happen like this. Like literally when I found him, like I got my DNA results so fast and everything happened so fast. So it's like, it doesn't happen this fast, but I mean, it can. And, people need to know, like, hey, find your long lost relatives, fix it, make new memories. That's all I'm trying to do. Like the in between doesn't even matter anymore because I have them.
Yep. And then it's just like, because you always get the one side of the story. Well, my mom, like, she hated him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She hated him so much that it was just like, dang, give me a chance to form my own opinion about him. But
right. That's good.
Yeah, my mom would tell me stuff, but she would never like really go hard at slandering my dad. Like my dad was in my life, but not in my life at a younger age, where like I would see him, but it would be like every 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 months. I would see him once every 5 months a lot of my childhood. And then especially early when he was still living in Youngstown, like he would pick me up, would drop me off at my grandmother's house. And then I wouldn't see him till Sunday on the weekend. He'd pick me up and drop me back off at home. So you go through that period, and my dad, and I don't want to make this too long, but me and my dad had the realest conversation right about the time when our grandmother passed. And he was like, he came to me and we were just sitting there talking about stuff, and he was like, we're close now. We're like, it's my motherfucking road dog. Right. When I was growing up until 21, me and my dad really wasn't close. Like he was my dad, but we weren't. The relationship was like the most we did was we hang out, go fishing, but we really didn't talk much. Play video games, but we really didn't talk much. And then I moved 21, and when I left Youngstown, I moved to Columbus, and then to stay with him, and we got close. And so when we had that conversation later on about my old grandmother, and he was like telling me, like, I used to resent that, not being close. As a boy, especially as a boy, and maybe even for girls, let me not discount for what women go through, but as a boy, like, there's nothing more you want but like that dad. Like, you get out of school and you see all the other little kids getting picked up that do have their dad there, and their dad is there. Like, you want that. You like so.
I don't think
I would have to say it's just a kid thing, because a lot of people think that the father is not as important as the mother. That is bullshit.
Right.
Exactly. I don't think that like a lot of like the adults that came before us realized exactly how traumatic that shit really is for people growing up. And then you have to explain that shit to your kids when your kids start asking you questions, and it's like, well, damn, I don't even know what to tell them because you didn't even give that to me. You feel me? So
and so
but that's just like that's like the flip side of everything. Like, I'm the flip side of all of y'all. Like my grandparents pretty much raised me till I was 8, until long story short, my dad ended up getting me till I was 8 till I was 19. You know what I'm saying? But what I've never had, like to this day, I'm 39. My mom lives around the corner. You know what I'm saying? I moved back down here in 2002 in Florida after I left, and to this day I have not had one sit down dinner with my mom. Like, see, what me is, we talked about this last time, Kiki, when he was fucked up. Like, when you find...
I probably was.
No, for real. I'm being real. We being real. So that's like me, the flip side of me, right? Like, I know how to be a man of a man. My dad taught me how to be a man. My dad taught me, like, son, even if you don't have no woman, there's things you can do on your own. You know what I'm saying? But in the process, that fucked me up because I never had a mom to teach me how to love a woman the right way. So all I know how to do is get money and pay bills. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been something missing in my relationship. So I always look for my wife to be my mom to me. You know what I'm saying? But when you get so old, a bitch ain't trying to be no mom to no grown ass motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been searching for something my whole life that I probably would never motherfucking get. And like to this day, I'm 39. I feel like I've been robbed of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I can look at my mom like I can't keep saying it, but I can. It's like you the fucking reason why I've never learned how to, you know what I'm saying? Because even with Big Dog from the last relationship, you can tell by him he was raised by his mom, but his dad wasn't in his life. So guess what? He was just so catering to his old lady. You know what I'm saying? So she ran over the nigga because he didn't have a man to teach him. Like, yes, you can be catering, but also you got to stand on your own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just more stern with a lot of things and certain things. So it's like I don't know how to I know how to show love through buying shit and doing things. You know what I'm saying? And I try my best to do other things, but I catch myself at times like, damn, I need to spend more time. Even when I'm home, I need to set up time for my kids to do certain things. But when you go through life and not receiving something, you don't know how to give it because you never received it. You know what I'm saying? And it plays a big it causes certain things and stress in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So like
well, do you have abandoned? Because mine is abandonment issues. That's mine. I just feel like I think that's probably why I'm single for so long, and because I really like you said, I don't know the structure. I don't know the structure of a relationship because I did not watch it. I watched my mom bust her ass and go to work, and like she said, niggas ain't shit and fuck that and da da da. You know what I mean? So we're like really flip side, you know what I'm saying? But it's like we're the same because we crave the opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was gonna say to finish that up was that the conversation I had with my dad when he said that to me about not being there for me a lot when I was younger and everything. I have matured enough in life, and I appreciate it because I did have a stepdad. My stepdad was in my life since I was like 2 going on 3 years old. And he never once ever in my life ever made me feel like a stepchild. Wow. And so that's super. And that's what helps me be a good stepdad. Like Christmas, like there was times they even got me other gifts and would just sit there and say it was from my dad, but it was really from my stepdad because they didn't want whatever the case. My stepdad never once to this day, nor his family, ever made me feel like I wasn't. I'm probably a lot more closer to his family than I am to definitely my mother's side and somewhat to my father's side. But to say that was, I told my dad, this is I guess the maturity and getting over the things, was that when he said that to me about not being there, I said, Dad, I said, God does things and sometimes we don't understand it. I said, when I needed you in my life the most is when you came, when I moved to Columbus at 20 and I was in Youngstown just running around with the wrong crowd and getting in stupid shit and I was not that bad kid, but I started hanging around the wrong type of people and I was headed down that path. Even if I wasn't doing nothing wrong, I was hanging with people doing the wrong shit. And I came to Columbus and it changed my whole trajectory of where my life was headed. And I told him, I said, you came when I needed you the most, even if I didn't know it at that time. So I can't hold resentment. Like, I'm happy my dad is a better dad today to my younger siblings than he was to me. And I used to resent it at first. Like, I used to be like real resentful, like in real thing. And it just, you grow over it. Like, and you gain perspective with age. And my dad is still becoming a better father now because my youngest sibling, I'm 40. My youngest sibling is 17. And then I got one that's 19 and so forth. But it's a blessing. I mean, growth is amazing and learning. But my stepdad is what makes me be so amazing to my stepkids. Like, what helps me.
Hey, check this out. It's a question, a comment, or it just came up right now, Kiki. Create your own. How you feel about that? Because I feel some type of way about that shit, Jason, right? It said create your own structure. Create my own structure.
Basically, how I'm gonna answer that, Jason, is I gave myself closure because my father is gone. So I gave myself closure by digging and trying to figure out the answers. My story is a little rough, rugged, and raw. just to give you a little glimpse, I was supposed to be molested. So I had one parent telling me I'm molested, had the other parent telling me I wasn't molested. And then I had to go do the digging and everything myself by pulling up records and stuff. So it's not about me doing the structure, but it is about me doing the closure. And
The healing.
I must say I'm proud of who I am. You know what I'm saying? The woman that I've became because he was absent. Yeah, I missed a lot, but at the same token, it made me tougher than most women that I see out here. You know what I'm saying? I got a little bit more tougher skin, but at the same time, I'm missing out, I believe, on a love that could have been because I don't trust. And I'm so afraid that if I do trust you, you're going to leave me or something like that. So
how you feel about, 'cause I want to answer that question too. How you feel about that, sis, about creating your own structure for something that's been missing?
Dang, my answer ain't gonna be as good as hers. I honestly, for real, she got cake on that one. I think for me with that, I can't really hold on to anything, that already happened because it's not going to get me into a better position that I need to be for my kids. Because at the end of the day, like I have them watching me now, so I don't have a choice but to just, be better each day, whatever I can. Did you just say, oh, my daughter is throwing shade at me. But no, just for me, I mean, I really can't hold on to anything that already happened. It already happened. There's nothing I can do, but just to be better, moving forward. That's it.
Now, see, I took that differently. Like, that's why I like talking to different people, because we all receive information differently. And if I'm wrong or make you feel a certain type of way, Jason, please let me know. But like, create your own structure, right? How can I create something that I never had a foundation for?
To build on.
So, even though like my grandma or my granddaddy, bless his soul, he said, whatever your father didn't do, whatever your mother didn't do, we did for you. Like that only carries you so far. Even with, okay, like you said, Black V, I didn't have my dad really wasn't like that, but I had a stepfather there who did. But it's still not the same. You know what I'm saying? To me, I'm saying to me.
No, you're right. You still
it's
something.
It's something still not. It's still not the same. It's like fried chicken and baked chicken is chicken, but it's still not the same. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you're 100% right.
I can't explain it because it's like, because if I wasn't given the infrastructure of something, of how something should go, you know what I'm saying? Now I'm trying to find my way out through life on my own. You know what I'm saying? And that shit
I mean,
tough, bro.
At the same time,
to be honest, bro, I don't even like talking about this. Don't be real.
At the same time, I mean, you still have the concepts around you of, what you see, what you witness, what you might like it to be like, and, build from that possibly.
I don't know. I just view it different. Like me personally, right? It's like a mom and a dad, right? Like niggas leave all the time, but your mama, like, no matter what goes on wrong with you, the first person, even if you have your mama and your daddy in your life, if something happens to you, the first person you calling out is mom.
His mama.
On your deathbed, you calling out mama, bro. You know what I'm saying? Even though if your daddy, it's just something about your mama. It's like, dog, y'all have, when you have a kid, when a woman has a kid, it's a different connection with her kid than it is with the dad. Yeah.
Because we're nurturers, like, you know what I'm saying? You didn't get that chance to have somebody kiss your boo-boos or lay up under her, you know what I'm saying, hear her heartbeat or stuff like that. So I get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and so it's just like
George Floyd. Who did George Floyd yell for?
Yeah, he called his mama, bro. And like with me personally, I would never say that. Like, bro, I got, bro. I know I'm a type of person. I know how to hide anger real good in certain things, bro. But we all have our alone moments. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. I don't mind the devil's playground. So like me personally, if y'all notice me, I keep myself busy, bro. shirts, podcasting, music, camera shit, videos, because a lot of things you don't even want to bring up. You don't even want to come through. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the most problem with black people is we don't do therapy, bro. And we
I was
black
just about
folks,
to say
we
that.
have to do therapy. But if you don't talk about that shit, bro, that shit will fuck you up bad, bro.
Well, see, you got to think about like it just brings me back to like the past, like the generation before us. Like we grew up in a generation where it wasn't okay to talk about it. Like if this happened, no, don't say anything about that. Or if this person did that to you, no, you can't talk about that. So we grew up in a generation where it's like, no, don't say that about that. So when it comes time to actually talk about it, we think we can't talk about it because in the back of our mind, we still hear that, oh no, don't say nothing about that, or you can't tell any, or you can't talk about that. So
Right.
it's a trauma thing.
Yeah, our generation
Because you
before
can't
him
tell
don't do
your
a lot of.
truth. You're not allowed to tell your truth, even though it's about other people. You can't tell your truth, and that's
No
what
truth.
that's what
What Kiki went through, it was not unusual with how your family reacts to having molesters and different things around in the family, and it was like all they kept it a secret. Like it was just like it was normal. Like whether you had a perverted ass grandfather or perverted ass nasty ass uncle or whatever the case, and like the family would just be like, oh well, we just won't have you go around Uncle so and so no more, or whatever case. And then but nobody went to go. Nope, our people didn't understand the fucking trauma that it carries and you live through it, and that shit is hard. That shit is hard to overcome, and to like it's real. You carried on a life like fucking Kiki's about to be 41.
41, and I still carry it. I do, but you know what? I started working on myself.
For real. You know what? It's so crazy. I had a talk with my cousin. I wish he was on here. He probably listening. He over out the country with his old lady. But when you get older, right? The first thing a motherfucker will tell you, like, first of all, if you haven't been through something I've been through, don't fucking say nothing to me. That's just me personally. You know what I'm saying? I will listen to it, but I can't like right now with my sister. I can only fathom what she's been going through trying to find my pops for 30 years. But I can't tell her, oh, get over it. Like, bitch, what? Get over it. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like it's like my mom. My mom's 62 years old. But guess what? This is the kicker with this. My mom's 62 years old. Don't know who her fucking father is. I don't know the other side of my family. But guess the kicker to this. While she's still trying to find her father, she's never been a mom to me. Like how does that work?
I think that. Have you ever tried to reach out to her?
No, we talk. Like she's very good with my kids, but she thinks that's not gonna change nothing. You know, so every time me and my brother talk to my mom, it's an argument. She don't wanna, because people have a past people have pasts that they don't want to bring up for whatever reason. My granddad always told me, listen, don't never look at your mom a certain way. She had to give us a youth or whatever it was. Okay, but my thing is, mama, let me know. You know what I'm saying? You let me know, then I could be okay. I have some understanding of why you had to do what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about, like we said from last, it was about communication. You know what I'm saying?
That's it. That's it.
But now if it's something to a point where you're like, you know what? I just didn't want to be fucked up with you. I was like, dog, when I went to Ohio, bro, I went to Ohio when I was 8, bro, it got to a point as I got older, I'm like, damn, I ain't hear from mama in damn near 7 years. Like, she don't even call, check on my birthdays or hey, what's up? Or nothing, bro. I was like, and it got to the point that's it. I just became accustomed to that, even though
numb to it.
Huh?
You numbed yourself to it.
Yeah, it just became my normal life. And so when I had found somebody, I felt in love. We talked about that shit. I fell in love too early, too young. You know what I'm saying? And I had found something like, damn, this was something I've been looking for. That's a whole nother story. But like I was saying, I feel like a person should never tell a person to get over it, bro. Because you can be 85 years old still wondering shit. Because it's just some things you want answers to. You may not get them, but there's nothing wrong with wanting a fucking answer to something.
Right, that's what I was gonna say when I was saying that you can't speak your truth. And for a long time, I felt like I would be stepping on my mom's feet I felt bad because she did give me the best life that she can. But at the same token, even if you're not going to give me my closure, mommy, I have to do what I have to do to make me okay, because I was spiraling. Like I had a problem with drinking. Like I mean, I spiraled, you know what I mean? And all because I wasn't allowed to speak my truth. But now you can't shut me up. I'm going to speak it, and I don't care whose feelings I hurt, because my feelings has been trampled on my whole life. You know what I mean? So I think you just got to get to the point where I'm going to ask this question anyway. Okay, you ain't going to give it to me. And the best thing that my dad did before he died, he said, go downtown and look up the report. The only thing I did was hit your mom. You know what I mean? And it turned out so, but then my mom, she sticks to what she says. And that goes back to what, I'm sorry, what's your name, baby girl?
Just Jen.
Okay, so Jen, yeah, that goes back to what she was saying. It basically, I don't know. There's no way that nobody can tell you to get over anything. Because that's like to me, that's just like ripping a Band-Aid off of somebody's wound who's still, you know what I mean? Throwing salt in the wound.
Right. You're throwing salt. You're throwing a salt in a wound that hasn't never been able to heal. Like you keep throwing salt and just tell them to get over it.
Right, because your anger, like your work, even though you seem angry and you're mad, that's your way of dealing with it. But at least you're noticing, like, I'm too angry. So eventually you're about to get over it. You know what I'm saying? In your own time. You know what I mean? And I think that God puts us through certain things to get us over it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. I believe we carry these things, and again, it's the trauma we carry, and it's and sometimes we inherit it because our parents don't never heal from their traumas, which was going to lead me to say to y'all, a friend of mine, I'm gonna shout him out, Rondell Irvin. We were having a conversation about, again, something that Kane Wright said about everything being systematically placed in our community. But when he was saying, we was having a conversation, and he said, like, he went through a certain thing in his childhood his mother did to him. And then as he got out on his own in the world, then he felt like some of it was borderline. He didn't call her abusive, but it was borderline like abusive. And so he was mad at her and went through a period of time of not speaking to his mother. And then it became this growth thing where he had to go back and he had to listen. He had to start speaking to his mother, and he had to understand how his mother came. When he spoke to his mother about it, he had to learn about how his mother learned how to raise him, and it was what was taught to her, what she went through, what she experienced. And I think a lot of times we get hurt so much, especially or disappointed in our parents, or we become parents and we learn certain things, but we don't understand that or look at what got our parents to be thing. And if we thought we had it bad with some of the traumas and things, it was even probably worse to a degree in some ways.
Listen,
in their era,
but Black B, listen, I don't mean to cut you off. Listen, bro, I'm gonna say this because at some point in your life, you have to break the cycle of certain things. And what I mean by that is this. When I came down here, I got with somebody who I didn't even fucking know. But I always told myself, whoever I ever got pregnant, I'm gonna give that kid something that I never fucking had. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm unhappy for the rest of my life or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so with me, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That's a whole nother subject. But I want it to be the mom and the dad in the household because that's something I've never experienced. You know what I'm saying? I want to do everything that I thought my dad should have did, or even with my wife. You know what I'm saying? With her, she a lot of things she didn't get an experience, and she teaching them. You know what I'm saying? We have it's a fucked up situation, but that's a whole other topic. But you know, we here is that we got them. You know what I'm saying?
But the best thing that y'all doing is being open and honest. Yes. You know what I mean? That's the best thing that you could do for a child. If half the people in my life was open and honest, I promise you I probably wouldn't have hit all the stumbles that I've hit. You know what I mean? But I'm not blaming them because my life is my life, and this is what I'm supposed to go through so that I can be who I am and who I'm becoming. You know what I mean?
So what I was saying with his thing was, with everything y'all saying and agreeing with what you're saying. What I'm saying is that what he learned, and which I had to learn too, is that context matters. Context matters within the sense of gaining context, because once you understand, it doesn't mean that you you have to forgive your mother for whatever case. But if you understand her story, it helps you along the process. Be like, okay, so yes, you did these things to me. Yes, these things hurt and you weren't there. But now I kind of understand at least where you came from that helped lead to it. It gives me context to the story to help me deal with it to gain closure for me.
Yeah, that's when you get older, because like the saying says, hurt people. So so basically how that person was raised, but this is a kicker though, right? Because this is where you got to hold yourself accountable. Now, okay, we're gonna say, okay, my parents raised me like this, so I'm gonna raise you like this. But at a point in your life, the way your parents was raising you, I guarantee you didn't like that shit.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So why use an excuse and say, this is how my parents raised me? But did you like how your parents raised you? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, I didn't like that shit. But that's all they know. So now I do understand it, because now it becomes an everyday life type thing. That's just like a kid who sees his mom get his ass beat all the time. 9 times that boy going to raise up, he's going to be abusive as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be, you know what I'm saying? So things do trickle down to other people. At some point in your life, you got to hold yourself accountable. Like, well, damn, I don't want this for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that shit be accountability. But like, to me, at some point, it'd be like, that's a fucking excuse. You know what I'm saying? Because
I don't think it's an excuse. It's because you're not excusing it. What you're doing is you're understanding.
Not the person. Not the person understanding. I'm talking about the person who's doing it. You
right,
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not to put nobody on blast, but I know somebody who says, just to piggyback off of what he's saying, she drinks a lot, and she's not gonna fix it. I'm my mama's child. That's her thing. She drink, I drink, and I think, like, you know, I listen to it, and it's just like, well, that's just like me saying I'm gonna be a crackhead because my dad was a crackhead. Like, no. You know what I mean? Like, you see what fucked up the structure. Why would you do the same thing? You feel
trauma is hereditary. Most people who are abusive husbands or whatever case, more than likely grew up in abusive households. Most people who are sexual child molesters or whatever case, the majority percentage of them were molested as children themselves. Like, hurt people. It's not excusing it. Is that if you can't acknowledge that this chain reaction, you can't fix it. You don't have to like it, but it's part of the equation to why you keep getting to this point, because we don't deal with it, because we're quick to shun at when we see the things happen a lot of times, and not fix, not heal, or deal with these things. And because we didn't get the healing in our lives, and we're more aware of therapy and counseling and different things like that. Our parents didn't get the healing. There still are grown ass older people that still didn't get that healing. Right. And so the cycle, the vicious cycle continues until, for one, I'm not telling you forgive somebody, but you understand. You need to understand something you need to understand why this happened. Why are you fucked up, Mom? Why are you fucked up? Okay, I understand why you're fucked up. I don't have to forgive, because the pain you gave me is the pain you gave me, and I wish you would. But now I know that I understand it now. It helps me deal and move on from that, so I don't carry that trauma on. Unfixed trauma continues to become more trauma, because now you don't know the pitfalls to look for.
But sometimes those people aren't going to give you the closure that you need. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom still won't. You know what I mean? So I have to close it myself. So, but I just never, under me as being molested and raped throughout my life, I've never understood how a person, even though it's hurt people, I never understood how they will put the trauma onto another child or onto another person. Like, I will protect somebody so they won't grow up as fucked up as me. Whereas somebody else is just like actually hurting people and harming them, knowing how you felt when it happened to you. So to me, I can't agree with that. I just can't see past it, because that part to me, like that's like R. Kelly getting a slap on his wrist because he was molested. So I'm gonna do it to all these little girls. Like I don't.
No, Kiki. What he was saying was, I get what he's saying now. He's saying, say whatever happened to you, right? And you're trying to get an answer from it. Sometimes you just look at that person like and start talking like, well, damn, I see why this person did this to me because it happened to them.
Oh no, I get what he's
just trickle down. Yeah.
No, I get what he's saying, but I was just like the little part he had said something, and
okay,
I was just picking up. But I get his overall, you know what I mean. Yeah. But I just wanted to clarify that. Like I know hurt people, but
it doesn't excuse it. It's never giving something an excuse. You're just become an understanding. If you don't understand,
I understand. I was just giving my opinion.
Okay.
Hey, Jason has said, he said, Mr. Bands, how you explain how you move as a parent and spouse is what I meant by build your own structure. Through the foundation may not have been laid. It doesn't mean you have to repeat the same with yours. So, okay, I understand what he was saying that because I had got offended. I ain't gonna lie, I took that a different way. But I feel what you're saying, but I didn't look at it as building my own structure. But it does.
It's breaking the chain. It's breaking the cycle.
It's breaking the cycle because that's pretty much what I did. Because, like I say, I knew what I wanted, so I was gonna give something to somebody else at any means necessary, and that's just how I've always been with my kids. Everything that my mom or my dad couldn't do, I make sure, you know what I'm saying, my kids don't have to go to fucking nobody, you know what I'm saying, for anything. That's just always been me, period. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that shit, bro. This shit deep, man.
These would be some real life conversations that people really don't want to talk about because they get that deep. But I mean, we are our own worst enemy when we don't talk about it. Because what are we fixing? Like, what example are we really leaving behind for the generation coming after us? What are we teaching them? You know,
then like just having a conversation like this, there's probably somebody listening that been through this and don't even know how to get it out, and they're just like hating themselves or inflicting depression, anxiety, all type of stuff on themselves. When if you just talk about it, because that was my hardest thing, was talking about it, because I didn't want nobody to see me cry, because I was a wreck at one time. But now that I got the strength through telling my story, you telling your story, no matter what it is, if you fell and hurt your boo-boo, share it with somebody, because somebody else will get your strength and know that it's going to be okay in the long run. Some people just don't know how to be okay with their situation. You know what I mean?
Facts. And that's a big thing. That's again why understanding. I had to understand who my mother was. My mother had me at 15 years old, going on 16, 15. Mm-hmm. So you understand, you learn, huh? Oh, she's talking to me.
Tell my daughter to get out because she being super nosy right now. Get out.
So you see this person go through it, and there's certain things I know for a fact, like my mom wasn't the best at, but it takes you growing up and becoming older, not the teenager or whatever case, and you're all frustrated and you can't get this or you can't get the new Jordans or whatever the case, and you're frustrated with all these different things, and then you come and I'm angry at my mom, and I have to go and I had to learn and understand and go back and look at it, especially when you get your own kids. Ain't nothing like understanding how shit be when you become responsible for kids of your own, and then you look back and then you're like, yo, she went through this where her father just abandoned her and her siblings, left them and moved on and really didn't do nothing for them, and then their mother sits there, turns around and abandons her when she's about 15, 16. So she has to grow up in this group home. But her mother is living around her corner. Not only did that happen, but her mother now doesn't even mess with men. She done flipped all the way over to messing with women now. And so, especially back then, you're talking about 78, 79, like that was not like the normal thing. And then she's sitting there with drugs and different things like that. So for her to come up and still, for her to raise me and my siblings the way she did, with the help of my stepdad, but for that, doing the best she could, given her circumstances, I understand. It gives me understanding, and which allows me to create closure for the issues I did have that I couldn't think, because sometimes you're just so frustrated because you're like, I don't understand how you could do this to me.
You're absolutely.
And then guess what? And then guess what? And then what you got to understand what closure is, right, bro?
Mhm.
I don't care what nobody say, bro. That shit will be on you until you die. Close. I don't give a fuck how much you say. Oh, I leveled up. I don't grown up, mature. That shit gonna still be on you until you gone, bro. Like my mom is going on 65 and still wondering certain things. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like your life could never move on until you have some type of closure.
But
You
it
will
makes-
move on. You will move on in life because you're getting older, but it's like it's a part of your life that's just like on hold. You know what I'm saying? With shit, bro. Like that shit crazy, man. That
No,
shit
but
Yeah.
crazy.
I understand you to the fullest, Jamar, because I mean, you know, I don't mind talking about my story at all, but my virginity was taken from me and my aunt got paid for it. And for the longest, I'm like, how could this happen? And that's what fucked me up for a long time. But I came upon it to go sit down and talk to her myself. It was the hardest thing I could do. But since she's been 14 years old, she's been molested by siblings, by her she just had a fucked up life, you know what I'm saying? And I
It's a
get what
cycle
you're
for her.
saying because, yeah, and it made me look like, okay, I can understand. And that night, me and her, like literally, she needed me there because she broke down and cried like the little girl, like she never did, you know what I mean? And for me to be there, it was like, okay, I get it. I don't get it, but I get it. And that goes with what Miguel's saying, because it's just like, I'll never get over you doing that to me because I can never fathom it. But now I understand why
Why? Yes.
you could even think that that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, because you're fucked
Yeah.
up. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's big. It gives you understanding. Sometimes we just want, like, what's the old song? What I want for you is understanding. Like, I need to understand why you caused this trauma to me, why you hurt me, why you abandoned me, like why you leave me. And
Right.
even if we don't like the answer, and it's a fucked up answer, but we have an answer now. We have some understanding that allows us that puts us in the right direction, the way to find. Because sometimes we don't understand why shit happened to you. It's hard for you to get closure.
Yeah, and you'll never leave it alone, Miguel. You'll never get over it because
no.
when that happened to you, you became somebody else. You were no longer just an 8-year-old little boy. You became somebody that calloused, and now
Yeah, that's like you ever had somebody steal something very important. You was like, bruh, it's like, bro, I need my shit back. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, like, bro, I need my shit back, bro.
I think trauma, you want to go back to the age that it happened. If I'm making sense, you want to go back to that age where it didn't happen because you knew nothing of that hurt. You know what I mean? You were just
because listen, Jamar, listen. When I went to my auntie house. My auntie Susie, listen, I can't take nothing from her. She had 3 boys, two whatever you want to call them, and they dads were never in their life. One in Puerto Rico, the other one lived around the corner, never came. And then I was there. You know what I'm saying? And so, but I just actually it's crazy how I can remember shit 30 years ago, but can't remember what happened yesterday. Like I can remember, like I can see her interacting with her sons on Christmas days and shit like that. Even though I would get presents and certain things like that, but it's like I'd be like, damn, thank you, mama, love you, mama.
right.
Thank you, auntie, love you, auntie. It's not the same. It's like a person can be everything that person was supposed to be, but it would never be the same. But that shit would never be the same with that shit like that. But hey, I gotta ask a question though. Because we've been on it. I don't want to change the tempo. I'm gonna ask a relationship question. Like, when do you get to the point where you like, you know what, bro? I just can't do this no more, bro. Like, this shit is just not working. It's like trying to fit a motherfucking square in a small circle or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just not going. Like, and why do people just continue to just be in long relationships and just they're not happy?
But
I think
Every situation is different. Every reasoning is different. Kids,
I think
finances. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kiki.
no, go ahead.
So I'm just saying every situation is different and everybody's got their breaking point. I have a a friend of mine who I used to date, and this person keeps going back to this abusive man. She keeps going back to being with this abusive guy, and I used to get mad. Like I would get pissed off at her, like 'cause I still care, still have love for this woman, but to see her keep going back to this guy, and then she hasn't reached her breaking point.
I don't think it's a breaking point. I really do think it's how you love yourself and respect yourself.
Well, yes, that's very true, and that's the lack of love for herself that keeps making her go back to this guy. But everybody has their breaking point. Some people never reach it, and they fucking lose their life before they get to that point. But everybody's got that point where enough is enough. Your mind can only take so much before you just snap, and you might snap and go crazy and kill him. Or, something. And she just hasn't, reached her point.
Listen, I had said something. I made a post on Facebook. You have to get to the point. You have to you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what I mean by that is, a lot of people, like you say, situations are different, and I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna be 100% G with y'all women right now. It's two men, 2 women. So I'm gonna keep it funky. When a woman gets with a man, and especially if she loves him, she's not looking for that to go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just she's looking at it as a forever. This is a forever thing. This is where I'm going to be. And so 9 times out of 10, a woman will put her fucking whole life on hold like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Because now she's Susie Homebaker now. You know what I'm saying? So what she was trying to do, she probably dropped out of school. She's not doing hair no more, and she done got pregnant and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And so what happens is a woman will put herself in a bad situation because 9 times out of 10, a man can get up quicker than a woman can who has fucking kids. You know what I'm saying? A man can just up and leave the day and just bounce. You know what I'm saying? And that's another 10. It seems like I've been noticing with these relationships and marriages, like a woman for whatever reason, she just stops her education. You know what I'm saying? Because he's paying the bills and he's taking care of home. You know what I'm saying? But we're not looking into it like, okay, he's not going to love me no more. He's going to leave me. But these things happen. A lot more than often, and it puts a woman in a bad situation. And so now she's going to be staying in an uncomfortable situation because she can't really move how she want to move. And then if she got kids, she like, you know what? I don't want to put my kids in an uncomfortable situation. So now I'm going to be uncomfortable because I don't want my kids uncomfortable. But naturally, if it's a bad situation, the kids are going to be uncomfortable in that house too, along with that person. You know what I'm saying? So I just really would wish when women get pretty much, I ain't gonna say, I don't want to say it wrong. Just have your shit together. Like stay up on stuff like self-care and look and do what you got to do. Because you never know. It's like nowadays, because it's not modern times anymore. It's like you got to have fucking plan Bs now with shit because you don't know who the person, because the person you meet and fall in love with 5 years don't be the same motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? The next 5 years from now and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So like my advice for a woman, period, that's on this topic is like, man, just keep educating yourself and doing things so where you're able to manage if anything happens. You know what I'm saying? You never want to go in, well, okay, just in case this motherfucker up and leave me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, just have your shit together, because like I say, I see it all the time, bro. Like,
but see, that's why women need our fathers. See, something like that, my father would have set me down and told me a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Flags,
so
right?
All I could do is sit here, like when I hear men speaking facts and it speak to my soul, I shut the fuck up because y'all know I can keep talking. But I shut up and I listen because I'm like, okay, facts. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I watched a lot of my friends do exactly what you're saying, and now they're in a situation where they did put their life on hold, and now they have to work this job and go to school at midnight, plus take care of the kids. And you know what I'm saying? And which I give women the utmost strength. If you got kids and you doing what you got to do, like not the utmost strength, but I give y'all like big ups. You know what I mean? Because I see women make shit happen for their kids and it's just like they never get tired. It's like, wow, you know what I mean? So big ups to you.
It's crazy. I applaud strong women. I applaud brothers like Miguel who are there and handling their business and you know trying to be the best dad. And to go back to what Miguel said, it's basically when is enough when you're both fighting against each other instead of fighting for each other. When you're not fighting no longer for the relationship or the marriage, and your reasoning is now everything else but each other. Like, I mean, I get it. You have your kids and you want to raise your kids. You don't want to put your kids to a single parent home. But when enough is enough for me, and I used to tell any of my exes this, is I'd rather call a relationship quits than us lose the respect we have for each other. Because you can stay with a motherfucker so long, you start to regret them, you start to regret yourself, and then the first thing that starts to go, you lose your friendship. In most cases, friendship is what made you go to that next level. When the friendship's falling apart, the respect goes, and once the respect is gone, then you're basically fucking just roommates.
Pretty much.
Huh?
Right.
Yeah, you just roommates. Yeah, you just roommates, and you just whatever case. And so I will never let a relationship destroy a friendship. If we can't respect each other, can't stand being around each other, then we need to be communicating, become mature adults, and just end this and not walk around making each other miserable and regretting each other, because it makes everything harder to move on to have a functioning new relationship and understanding of our new circumstances of us not being together, but of children involved, taking care of children, and so forth and so on.
I can learn so much off of y'all.
It has to be one of those conversations where, you know, all parties are willing to have that conversation and be accountable for, you know, if they did something fucked up, they got to be willing to be accountable for what they did that was fucked up, and then also willing to listen to the other party too and have a neutral decision. But if you can't have that conversation, it's a dead end, you know.
Communication. Just because you're talking doesn't mean you're communicating. If the other person isn't listening, that's not communication. We said it earlier. We said it before. Communication is a two-way street, and both parties have to be able to listen as well as express. And if you have somebody who's a lot of guys, I catch myself still. I'm being honest. I catch myself still doing it where she'll be like, "We got to talk." And know that when we got to talk means that something is bad or I done something wrong. And I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to talk," you know.
Mm-hmm. And that's like I always say this, right? Like just free game for women. Like the three biggest things I tell my daughter, you know, she's at that age where I know she gonna try different things and shit like that. But far as on a grown-up level, like I never understood why a woman gets in a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship and then gives a nigga husband, wifey type work and qualities and shit. Like that makes no sense to me. If you give a nigga everything from the get-go and he know all what you got, it's like you left nothing in the tank. You know what I'm saying? You gave him everything at one shot. You left nothing in the tank. So now he like, okay, I don't want to fuck with you.
But is that him? Is that him? No. Is that more?
No. I'm not blaming him. Is what I'm saying is, I think it's a lot of women. It depends on if that's what she want to do. You know what I'm saying? But you know, but when a woman likes a man, she's going to go the extra yard to try to get the nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But why go? Why do everything? Why give a nigga the knockout blow on the first round? You know what I'm saying? You don't give him everything you got. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why women be so pissed off when niggas leave them and shit. Like, nigga, I done, you know what I'm saying? I done get all this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, to me personally, like I told my daughter, man, if you get to the point where you with him after a certain amount of time, if he can't change the way she looks at a man forever and change your last name and change your address, then you don't need to be fucked up with that nigga for too long. Like, it don't take no motherfucking 3 to 5 years to know if you want to marry a bitch, bro. You know what I'm saying? I be tripping like, bro, you was with her for 10 years, so you figured out you wanted to marry her. Like, what woman? And I don't know any of y'all, even my sister. I don't know her situation or yours. But why would a woman waste 10 years of her life with a man, just boyfriend and girlfriend, and y'all not building nothing and y'all not going anywhere? Now, if y'all building something, y'all doing things, but people get these long ass relationships and leave with nothing.
When they get 10 years and still. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Kiki. Go ahead, Kiki.
I have to go back to basically what you said from the jump. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that, basically the structure or the foundation to even know how to love. I've never been in a committed relationship, but I did fall in love at a young age, and he dragged me so much, and I just kept going back, and I would never allow myself to be played like that again. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you have women out here that do exactly what you say, relationship after relationship, because they're searching for something that they didn't get. To me, because like even speaking with females, and I try to give them game, and they look at me like, well, I'm not the woman that could be alone. You know what I'm saying? I could be alone because I'd rather be alone than be hurt and humiliated. You know what I mean? Whereas, what do you call people that keep getting in love and stuff? You call them
habitual offenders. That's what you call them. Habitual
relationship people.
Hopeless. It's something like hopeless loves or something. Something like
hopeless romantic.
Yeah, that. And it's just like, at what time, like you said, at what time do you stop playing yourself?
Yeah. Can I answer Jason real quick? He says the goal is, Black V, the goal is effective communication. Just because both parties are talking and listening, that doesn't mean that there will be a viable outcome. Anything, even the beginning of the end can be done. The communication is just at least let you know where you stand, and you're not assuming, or you're not just constantly reacting off of something and not understanding, or at least trying to understand. Like, the communication is just is opening the doorway to either fixing or finding out that the outcome will not be viable. But that communication, if you're trying and the other person refuses to communicate, and you keep trying to communicate and they refuse, then the answer is there for you, because they refuse to. Or they refuse, and they just don't want to meet you at that point. And if you have somebody that doesn't want to meet you at that point, or you both can't agree on a viable outcome, you communicate it instead of continuously letting some end that could have been fixed had there been communication. So the communication is just a tool, a resource to use to either fix, strengthen, or end some shit. Like, communication does not always mean it's going to fix some shit. Sometimes the communication will let you know, like, yo, we talked about this and we just can't get on the same page. We going to
no matter what. Listen.
Well, you write your book and I'm gonna buy it, Black V. How about that?
No, when you don't when you refuse to actually come to some sort of agreement, then I mean, you are the problem. Period. Like, if you really can't sit there and be like, all right, bet, yeah, you right about this, or yeah, I'm wrong about this, then you are the problem. Then you don't want to fix it.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You could very well be the problem. I mean, sometimes some of us have had, I'm sure all of us at some point in time, whether hurt from trauma or whatever the case, are just tired of a person who maybe wanted to change, but they've done so much wrong, or just so far gone, that we've all had our toxic moments, and we let pride or our feelings overtake rationale. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you're right. Like, you could be the problem. I could have been a problem. Crazy as fuck, but I put a post. I'm normally an asshole on Facebook, but I put a post on Facebook, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sincerely sorry to any man that's dating a woman having to deal with the trauma that I may or may have not caused, and you having to put up with it. And I was being sincere, but every motherfucking body put laughing emojis and shit like that on it. I'm like, no, I wasn't trying to be an asshole. Like, I'm being sincere. Like, yo, like, I know I wasn't perfect, and I'm not sitting saying I was a dog ass nigga and running around just like cheating and breaking hearts. But I know I didn't always handle every situation the right way. And so we sometimes don't think about the effect, especially us as men. We don't always think about and maybe not our intentions to do some shit, but we don't always think about the trauma, or not even trauma, but the effects we have on the people we bring into our life, who we share our energy with.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's the same thing for women too, because like sometimes us as women, we don't realize the amount of stress and trauma that we can also put on men and treat them as if they don't have feelings, or because they're men and they're made not to, or always been told, oh, you can't cry, you can't show any emotions. We actually put that out a lot on y'all too. And sometimes we hold y'all to a certain standard and we don't realize how toxic that can be too.
Facts.
Facts.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. It's hard. We hurt each other, especially in our community. We hurt each other, and we don't do a lot of healing, and we do a lot of finger pointing. And it's a lot of women that be like, it's a lot of men out here that ain't shit, and it's brothers to be like, it's a lot of bitches and hoes out here, and we make it much more difficult to heal or to grow or be accountable. Like I see Miguel, I see a man who is accountable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he'll sit there, he'll go through his different things and has his moments, but he's accountable to his wife, he's accountable to his kids, and he still, not once in this whole process of talking did he come across to try to say like he's perfect and he's got it all figured out, even within his own marriage and relationship. It's always a fucking work in progress. That's marriage. If you go into marriage thinking that, like, once you're married, like, it's supposed to be perfect and you're not supposed to go through downtimes and shit, you got it all fucked up and your marriage ain't gonna work. Like, marriage is about, you married a motherfucker who you feel is worth fighting for and going through the highs and the lows, because life still fucking happens for you as a couple, and life's going to happen for you with everything involving your kids, and then you still are dealing with traumas in your life as an individual.
But check this out, like, I'm gonna tell you what we don't do. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me, I'm gonna run to the restroom. I can hear y'all.
If you change your perspective, how you look at things, right? Like, if you went into a marriage and looked at it as a business, how would you run it? You know what I'm saying? And secondly, right, before you get married, ask yourself a question. At this point in my life, would I marry myself?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You just think about that.
You thought about that? Yeah.
Before you get married, before you get a boyfriend or girlfriend, would I be my own? You know what I'm saying, to that myself? And you will that will stop you from hurting a lot of people.
Yeah.
Or getting involved in certain things you shouldn't even be involved in, because we all get with people for silly, dumb reasons sometimes, depending on our situation, what's going on. Bro. And nowadays, go ahead.
Bro, I was agreeing with you 100%, and I was gonna say, didn't we talk about that on Deep Throat Conversations? It's about how you gonna love somebody else if you don't even love yourself and know who the hell you is and who you are and who you are not. Yeah. What role you can and what role you honestly cannot fill. And so it's about you need to love yourself and know who the fuck you is, or have some understanding, deep understanding of who the fuck you are, what you're capable of, and not know your position in your own life before you go trying to sit and carry your baggage over and all your trauma and everything else over to another man or another woman. Because everything you were saying is like, you got a lot of men who wouldn't date them fucking selves, but sitting there trying to tell some woman that, he could be a good husband to her or so forth. And motherfucker, you don't even like yourself. You can't even look at yourself in the mirror.
Right. That's true. That's
accountability,
true.
Man.
That's
Accountability.
I had to learn to explain with people, because I think that, I don't know if other women do it, but like, how you can meet somebody and you're on the phone and you're just enjoying their company. You know what I mean? And it's not going anywhere in your head, but it's clearly going somewhere in their head. but because you like the person, but soon as commitment or anything come up, it's like, oh no, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that like, I never been in like a committed relationship. So this is just me talking a single life, and you know what I mean? So it's like dealing with dudes. Soon as like a commitment, I get scared and be like, oh nah, but we could do the other stuff. But
I got a question. Kiki. I got a question, Kiki. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong. I listen to you a lot, right? So I feel like besides a man eater, you know what I'm saying? A woman who shies away from wants a commitment but shies away from it is more so like, you know what? If I don't set myself up for disappointment, I can't be heartbroken and I won't be upset. So I'm gonna just take the aspects that I want out of this. And then I kick you to the side because I'm just too afraid of. I'm afraid of disappointment. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? And there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, at the same time, it's gonna be some. You feel always, damn, something is really missing. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn,
right.
I know I look good. I got this going on, but I don't have this. You know what I'm saying? You can have it. You can have that, but it's just when you to the point where you just don't want any disappointment. You know what I'm saying? Right. And you can control the narrative of the story. You're going to keep controlling that shit the way you want to control it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that you can't have it.
You're absolutely right. Or you put yourself, or you mess with people where you know it ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So like, no, you're definitely, that's how I move. You know what I mean? And I do want something. Like at the end of the day, I'll be watching love stories. Like I just want that so bad. You know what I mean? But it's the vulnerability for me. I don't know how to be vulnerable to a man. Like that's just me. But I'm working on it. One, you know, if my man out there, one day we're gonna get together. Okay.
Can I let me make sure I say her name right. Is it Raina?
So that's what I'm legally thinking about changing my name to. So I don't like my original name. But what's up? You got a question for me?
Yeah. Yes. Where did you get to that point in life, or how old were you when you felt you honestly understood and knew who you were?
I don't think I understand the question.
So when did you feel like you really knew and got the gist of you? Like, you know, like we go through certain phases and periods, and then we kind of find ourselves. Like we kind of find like, oh, I found my groove. I know who I am. Like I won't tolerate this. I don't tolerate that. Like I learned to speak up for or whatever it was. You may have found it at an early age, but when was it when you finally found out and knew like this is who I am? Like I got me. Or have you got there yet?
In 2016. So I was diagnosed with something and I wasn't supposed to live past a year.
Wow.
So, you know, when you have a doctor, you know, telling you you're not going to live past a year, everything changes. Everything changes. Perspectives change, relationships change, situations change, the way that people are accountable changes. That's when I figured out who I was, when I almost lost me. So it had to take me to break down and almost lose everything, including my life, for me to pick up the pieces and figure out, you know, the type of person I wanted to be and how I wanted to live my life. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna applaud. I'm happy you're still here. I'm applaud.
I don't
I'm
really
happy
touch base too much on that.
Hey, but listen.
I got kids.
Hey, sis.
I mean, you know, I talked about this before, you know, and I have kids, so
yeah. But listen, but guess what though? She ain't tell y'all the major part. See, if she talk about this shit, she had an FDA all at her house, so I don't know if she want to talk about this shit. But listen, she cured her own self.
That's what's up.
I did.
Real talk.
I did. So I was diagnosed with something that there is no cure to what I have. It's a central nervous brain system disease. There's no cure to it. But, you know, instead of me taking a bunch of medications, like I don't listen to doctors no more.
Dr. Sabi.
Yeah, his is a little bit more in depth. You know, he's from a different climate zone, so you know how he eats and how I eat is it's a little bit different. But you know, for the most part, I do eat a lot like him. I don't eat any meat. Like I might eat fish every once in a while, but ever since about 2016, I've been a vegetarian. So I changed myself through my diet. I was like originally 220 pounds. And yeah, I stopped all the medication, all of it. And it was that was a big risk because, you know, it's like 10 different shots I'm supposed to be on, all these drugs. And I just felt like I was just getting sicker. And you get to that point where you're like, you know what? All right, I don't have anything to lose. Let me go vegetarian. Let me go vegan. Let me see if this shit really works. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I'm not even about to lie.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
Yeah, amen. You're blessed, man. That's what's up. Love to hear that. Survival. You're a survivor.
Tabernacle.
That's how I figured out. Well, that's the point that I came to realize who I am.
That's crazy. Can I answer that question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it's not, it's pretty much like yours, but it's not like, you know, I didn't face death, but I faced losing everything at the age of 39. My career and everything, you know what I mean? And that's when I started figuring out who I was. I'm not all the way there, you know what I mean? But I got a gist of who I am and where I'm going, if that makes
Your
sense.
path is a lot clearer now.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. Well, Miguel been the same motherfucker for the long. He's been crazy as hell, real as hell, and just Miguel. He don't have to answer.
Nah, but you know, me personally, you know, I'm 39. You know, I'm still figuring things out. You know, you gotta understand, like a grown up is nothing but a big kid trying to find his way. You know what I'm saying? And so some people find things out quicker than others. But you know, but when it came to the point of my life, me and my granddaddy had a close relationship. When he told me, I was 18, and my granddad, he was a pastor, bro. But when we was in his house, he would have fucking real conversations. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, you have to understand, in his life, nobody gives a fuck about your problems. You know what I'm saying? Nobody don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? And that's real talk. Even family, bro. Like, nobody gives a fuck. You may have a handful of people who fucks with you, but at the end of the day, when you grown, everybody has their own problems. Every pot, he told me, what he said, every pot got to sit on its own bottom at some time in their life. You know what I'm saying? And when he told me that, it just changed my perspective, how I just looked at life and looked at people and certain things. And I really felt I was put here just to interact with people in a certain way. I have so many stories, from funny stories to sad stories. Just it's a lot in my vessel, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know about y'all, it's a lot that I have to get out, but it's just from talking to my granddad, having conversations really taught me what life was about and where I was at and who I was. Because I was just living life. I was just wilding, bro. Like, I was just wild. I still do crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? But I'm human. But it was to a point, I was wilding hard, bro. I got to Florida, got locked up about 3 times and shit like that. When I was already in college, and they were trying to charge me with an F1. That was gonna fuck up my little thing I had going on. And so he just taught me to a point I control my destiny. You know what I'm saying? Once you find out you control your own life and all your choices and decisions is on you, and you get self accountability. You know what I'm saying? You know, you would just look at just life differently, man. So he made me look. He showed me and gave me that self accountability to myself. You know, that I control the narrative, my own story. You know what I'm saying? So you can't sit here and complain about what the fuck You don't got it. What you got going on? You know, everybody use their 24 hours differently. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you use yours? Well, you gonna sit and look at me because I'm doing okay, but you sitting home eating cheese doodles, playing 2K all fucking day. You know what I'm saying? So you can't look at my life and base it off yours because you know me and we was raised in the same fucking house. And this is where hate comes from. And they look at a person like Kiki like, damn, how the fuck, how Kiki at where she at? You know what I'm saying? We was raised in the same house. I know her. That's why most of your help come from people you don't fucking know.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that you come from people you don't know. Like I don't know. I didn't know Jamar to this year, but he done helped me out a lot with different things and people I've been in my life for fucking 30 years. You see how life works. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a long story with that. I didn't mean to get out too far, but once he just sat down and talked to me and let me know like this is who you is. You know what I'm saying? Most people find out who you is, and most black people find out who the fuck they is, or any melanated being find out who they is, they would change their way of thinking, or how they roll and do things. You know what I'm saying?
And it's so hard. It's so hard.
Control you.
It's so crazy because I'm listening to you, and it's just like me.
Go ahead, Kiki. Go ahead.
These past couple of years, what you're saying, like what people need to realize that it's not going to be an easy task to change the way you think, but you have to fight yourself. You have to fight yourself, and I go through it.
Enemy. You're your biggest enemy. You are your biggest enemy.
You are. You know what I'm saying? Like my one thing that I fight with, just to keep it all the way 100, is procrastination. I know what I want to do, but it's just like I am the number one procrastinator, and I have to get on my ass, like get the fuck up and do. You know what I mean? But it's like to me, the hardest part is like what you said. You said you start taking accountability for who you are when you start seeing exactly who you are. And I am going through that, and it is so hard. Me and myself be in this apartment about to kill each other, if that makes sense. Because it's like tooth and nail, because she want to go do what she used to do, but that's insanity if I want a different outcome. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
This wise man.
I just don't understand. Wait, baby.
I was gonna say this. My next question, real quick, before we get ready to end this, so I was gonna ask y'all what's one of the greatest advice someone has ever given you. But this wise, well, two things, but one thing is this wise man once told me, we spend the first 20 years of our life worried about what everybody's thinking about us. We spend the next 20 years of our life not giving a damn about what anybody thinks about us. And then after them 40 years, we come to realize that nobody was thinking about our funky asses in the first damn place. and so like he was like, the moral of it is like, if you do you, you take care of you, handle what you need to handle, not only for yourself, but those that now rely on you because of your choices, everything else will work out. And so I've learned self-accountability. Like before I get into an argument with anybody, or I come at somebody to correct somebody, the first person I check before I have a conflict or argument is myself. I have to check myself to see, because I'm a sore loser and I hate to be wrong. So I need to go and look at myself to see if I'm wrong first and foremost in my approach or where I'm going at, because I like to come in with facts or with understanding. So I check whether it was with my ex-wife or with my fiance, with anybody. It's like, yo, where did I fuck up? Like, where did I go wrong? Is it my fault? And sometimes a lot of it could be their fault, but I helped push them in that direction, either because I didn't communicate how I felt or what I wanted or what I was thinking. And so I try to find out and communicate first before I go straight to anger. Now, believe it or not, that pissed off an ex, because sometimes women just want to give that raw emotional reaction to things. And that's not me. I think before I act. I'm like, no, let me sit there and see, make sure.
Can I read what Jason said? Because I just wrote it down because I was looking for a book to help me with my mind.
Read it for us. Read it. Yeah.
He said, if any of you are interested in an excellent read, the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. is about the growth mindset. Very easy read and enlightening. Thank you for that, Jason. I'm gonna definitely
Jason,
get.
we gonna have Jason. You leave a lot of comments. We're gonna have to get you on.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to
There's
get you
another
on.
I've
book
been saying
you
that
can
shit.
read,
I've been saying that
too.
shit in the last episode.
What other book? Hold on, because I'm trying to read and I'm trying to get me together.
It's
What's the other book?
it's another book just to touch on what he said. It's called there's two actually. I think one of them is called like the subconscious part of the brain, and then the other one is called like the God part of the brain. So those are some good books to read too when dealing with the mindset. I read a lot too. I have so many freaking books. It's crazy.
Knowledge is power, man. Self-knowledge, self-understanding is power. Knowledge is power. Understanding. A good book that I read was let me not say it right. I was about to say The Poorest, but I believe it's The Richest Man in Babylon. Richest Man in Babylon. That's a good
And
one
check this
for
out. Listen.
financial stuff too. That's a good one to help you get a better mind state for your finances.
The Richest Man in Babylon.
Hey, check this out.
Mhm.
Richest Man in Babylon. Hey, check this
Right.
out.
I'm
right?
like, you sound nasty.
Hey, check. No, I ain't getting nasty. But I'm going back to my granddaddy, right? Like, I remember he used to say, what he used to say to me, like, once you figure out that life is just an experience, right? This isn't a walk through experience. You create your own experience through life. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand how much power is in that. You create your own experiences, but sometimes some of your experiences you can't control. That's just a part of going through life with your story. You know what I'm saying? So now you become a testimony for somebody else to help them get through things. But most of your life, you create your own experiences. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I never understood, like, how can a person be mad at the situation they're in? You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people get dealt different cards, but you still got to play them. But you just gonna fold your hand? You know what I'm saying? Or are you gonna play them? You know what I'm saying? So once you realize that life is an experience, like life can become limitless to what you can do.
What you make of it.
You know what I'm saying? And people just don't understand what you make of it. Like it's simple sayings. If you put forth effort to things, you know what I'm saying? Like it's simple as ABC, bro. Like for real, it's just how bad you want something. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be done. Far as back to relationships, right? Like you got to understand with marriages, friendships, whatever it is, family members, that things comes through seasons, right? And you can't grow with everybody. People don't understand that. Like, listen, you cannot grow with everybody. It doesn't mean because I'm over here, I'm still this person, but now that doesn't mean I'm a fuck nigga because of it. I just can't grow with you, bro. We wasn't meant. Our journey has ended. Like even with marriages, it doesn't mean because y'all left after 20 years that it's a failed marriage. It's that this is ended here. You know what I'm saying? This is our journey here. You know what I'm saying? This is what life is. People die at certain different ages. They finish their journey for whatever reason they left, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But we put so much emphasis on, you know, we try to make things work when it's not supposed to, and you wonder why you still fucking stuck where you at with certain things. Like, damn, I've been going through the same shit with the same person for the last 15 years, baby. It's like, okay, if y'all done tried everything, well, maybe y'all journey has ended. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this is where that's at. You know what I'm saying? And even
People
with
grow
friendships,
apart.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People grow apart for whatever reasons. But like even with friendships, some people, you're not supposed to be business partners with certain people because they can't be. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean, you know, it's just you gotta look at life just totally different. And once you start looking at totally life different, you're gonna realize you're gonna lose a lot of fucking people who you thought was your friends. You know what I'm saying? Because you just can't grow with them. You know what I'm saying? And I done lost a lot of friends who I thought were friends. I still talk to them, but you know, but since I look at life different, I'm growing over here. It's not the same. All of a sudden, I became a fuck nigga and shit. I haven't changed. You have. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to elevate. I want more out of life than you want. You know what I'm saying? And then once you get to the point, you can, even when you get to the point, Kiki, if you become a multi-millionaire in what you're doing, you will not be able to help enough fucking people. You will not.
Never.
You can't. It's impossible. It's impossible to satisfy people You know what I'm saying? Especially when you got a good heart like me. You know how many free shirts I give away? You know what I'm saying? You know how many free shirts I give away, though?
Y'all
but listen, listen, you know how many free shirts I give away, Black V, and the motherfucker get them and still complain. You know how black folks do. That's just like the other day. I catch myself doing it sometimes, right? I go to a restaurant and give me free food. I'm like, damn, you could at least give me some. I'm like, damn, let me be quiet. I got all this shit for free. You know how black people do, man. You're like, God damn, nigga. We like, yeah, you a hoe, you still complain. That's just,
bro.
It's
just crazy. You never satisfy enough people. You know how many people I try to help start a podcast, and because they don't want to do the work and put the work in or the effort, and it's cool, but and a lot of times, like, go ahead. I'm sorry, bro.
But then
a lot of times it's like, yo, I'll help you. I'll show you the way. They don't want it, but they say all the time
they don't want that. They don't want. You gotta listen. What's the saying? I can give you a fish, or I can teach you how to fish, and you can catch fish forever. But a motherfucker would rather you give it to him. A motherfucker don't want to take the time to learn something. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing with black folks, not to change the subject. You know what I can't stand about black folks, dog? Dog, information, dog, is power like a motherfucker, dog. And guess what? So like I'm gonna say Kiki, right? And I always say this. I'm a firm believer. I pay people for shit, bro. I don't want nothing for free because if I'm going to you asking you, it's because I don't know. And guess what? I done spent years and months in trying to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's like right now. Kiki do that dispatching shit. Random motherfuckers hit up. They trying to figure out how can they get on and do that. You know what I'm saying? You just giving out free game.
And that's what's going on. And I've been giving out free game.
It's like nah, bitch, pay me. You know what I'm saying? Like you just after a certain point in your life, you're like, I deserve to get paid for this shit because I done took my time and learned something that took me years that you want to learn in fucking 5 minutes. Nah, bitch, you gonna pay me. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever feel like a motherfucker shouldn't pay you for that shit. Don't ever, because one thing you can never get back is time, dog. You don't get time back. You can't pay for that enough. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother. He do maintenance work. My uncle AC goes out. He calls my brother over. Like, hey man, my brother come over real quick. Whoop whoop. He said, damn, that was it. He said, yeah, it seemed like that to you, but this shit took me.
Oh yeah. It took me. Yeah, 20 years.
Years to figure this shit out, how to do all this. Yeah.
Can I say this before
I was freezing up, but go ahead though. Go ahead.
Okay, it's a basically piggybacking off of what you're saying, but what I've learned is basically manifestation and getting to some breathing exercises to where you try to clear your mind, take a deep breath at the end of each day because we do not take time out for ourselves. And hold on, I was about to say something about the manifestation. Dang it, I hate when I lose it. It was good. God dang it.
Were you gonna say something about the law of attraction?
No, that's what I was gonna say. Because God is working tonight. Because listen, everything, and I mean everything that you have ever manifested, even if you didn't know you want to manifest, you got it. Like, I don't care. Look back at your life. You got it. Like, I went crazy. Like, I had to have this avalanche, right? Now, I was specific on what I wanted. I didn't know I was going to get the year I got now because, but that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? And I started looking at everything. Even when you go hard, like, okay, I had to get out of a situation, so I had to get my own place. Couldn't find a place, but I went through hell and hard water to get it, and I got it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people just don't know how to use that. They don't know how to channel it. Just like me, I'm learning how to channel to get what you want. Like he said, life is an experience, and that's how you experience through the mind. Like it's this Indian guy that I follow. Next, I'll let y'all know his name once I look him up again. But he said that the crazy part is we are super beings. Like we look at people like on TV, like we think they have powers and stuff, but we really actually have powers. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're connected to the universe. And that's all I wanted to say. Okay. Thank you, girl. You helped me out. My brain was farting.
Because I know exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. So I already know what you're talking about. I'm there.
Yes.
You're not alone. You are not alone.
You are not alone.
And I gotta tell y'all, like, y'all look alike. Just FYI.
Yeah,
Oh,
y'all
my
do.
brother?
Yeah.
y'all, like, I kept looking at you. I'm like, I see it.
I always thought I looked
Yo,
like
how
my
weird is
dog.
that to say now? Well, my brother?
Actually, surprisingly, it hasn't been weird at all. Like I think I've been since the first time he texted me, I've been calling him my big brother ever since. And the first time I talked to our dad, I've been calling him dad, like since the first, pickup. It's so natural. When you know, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry that Miguel was your brother. I'm happy for you, but sorry for you because you got a crazy ass big bro.
Oh,
You got a
I'm
real
not,
one, but he
because
crazy.
listen, you about to get a double dose because you about to get a double dose.
You just catch her. She's sleepy right now. She's
Hey, Black
sleepy.
B.
Yeah,
I still got my
covered
receipt.
up.
I'm returning the
tired.
sender.
Hey, Black
Nah,
B.
you gonna get a double dose.
Hey, ever since I found out, I'm like, let my sis call so I can fuck somebody up for the first time. And shit.
Just like your brother.
I got a lot of new guns I want to use. And shit.
Yo, this is important. I don't know if anybody in here does. I'm like novice with investing, but Jason put up here something important about. Don't forget about Google and Amazon 21 stock split. Anybody, we might have to have some come on. I'm going to get some guys together to come on and talk about this. I think information is power in showing people. And I think there's a lot of people in our community definitely would love to learn more about stocks and how to invest. And there's more than just Robinhood. There's many other things to get into to invest and to make some money.
You got to bring Mo too. She in school for it.
Yeah. Yep. Like I've learned. I made some money last year. Was it last year? I made some money in the market, but I lost some money just being a novice and not understanding it. But I definitely feel like we need to go ahead and get some people on here to go ahead and educate our people and give them some game on how they can make some money in this market.
And set yourself up with a Roth account instead of 401k.
Oh, I have both. My job offers the 401k and the Roth. I just actually learned how to really like utilize that to the maximum, because what I was doing at first, like my job, they have a 5% 401k match, but what I was doing was I was paying them 7% and putting 1% in the Roth, and somebody was like, why don't you just do 5 as the max and then put the rest of it in the Roth? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got they moved it up. I think you can put 6,000 now. 6,000 a year in your Roth.
So yeah, I'm learning. These are the things that I was not really taught growing up. I had to figure them out on my own. So it's like, fuck, like, why am I learning so late in the game? And I feel like it's so much information. So I mean, whenever y'all do the investing one, I definitely would like to get too. So
yes.
But I'm going to bed.
You need to go to bed. I don't know how you made it this long.
You gotta get up.
I'm only out here for a few minutes. I got work in the morning.
She got some of this.
I actually don't have to work in the morning, but I still have to call me and Miguel's dad before I go to sleep. I talk to him every night before I fall asleep. So
both of y'all should call them together. Be like, hey, Dad.
We should.
It's us.
We should.
Miguel be on here like, hey, Dad.
It's Mr. Bendover. You hear me?
Yo, this is the Bucket Naked Podcast. That's Miguel, aka Mr. Bendover. That's Kiki from QWAP. Miguel has his own show, Deep Throat Conversations. And also, please check out Jetfly Clothing. Their brother will sit there is doing some amazing things with the shirts, and he can get you other kind of gear too. Very connected. Also, check out Diallo Bands on YouTube. The music is hot, as well as the podcasts that do stream off of there also. So I want to thank you for our beautiful new little sister. And be on the lookout for Queens with Attitude podcast for streams tomorrow night.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
We're talking about being a stepdaddy.
Stepdaddy. I'm coming on that one. Let's talk about stepdaddy.
Hey, Jamar, you told me. Hey, Jamar. Hey, Jamar.
Yeah.
They know about the new little gift.
The new what?
Kiki seen it?
A gift?
Oh
The
no, I
trailer.
don't think they've seen it yet. They haven't seen it yet.
It's a
Did you
gift.
send it? Did you send it to Annie?
Okay.
What is it?
I sent it to your email too. I sent it to your email. You got it.
Okay, I'll check it. I didn't get to watch it as a whole yet, so
I
I'll
like
check it out.
a gift. Give me my gift.
Kiki is it's not a toy, Kiki. It's not a toy.
No, it's not. Well,
No.
fuck it,
Yo, I'm gonna have Jason. We gonna have to holler at you.
All right, y'all. I'll check out with y'all,
You
man.
and Miguel, so we can go ahead and set something up with give somebody on since you got a guy. But yo, thank y'all for listening. God bless y'all. Good night.
Bring your sister back.
Yeah.